Okay, thank you very much for joining us in this webinar. We are going to review endpoint backup with our solutions that we have with Carbonite. I just want to do a little bit of an introduction for Carbonite and WebRoot and the solutions that we have, and we'll review this backup that we have for endpoint and some of the other solutions. Our main theme that we have at our company is cyber resilience. And cyber resilience is how we are able to protect data for everyone. So if they lose data, they're able to recover without an issue. With our solutions, we've tried to make it simple and accessible and reliable so that we can help people prevent any data loss or recover from any data loss, especially in this time that we have with COVID-19. A lot of people are working from home. We hope to help keep their information secure. Just so you know Carbonite a little bit better, we were founded in 2005 for computer backup, and we've slowly grown through acquisitions. eVault is a server backup solution. DoubleTake is a server replication and migration solution. Data Castle and Mozy are endpoint backup solutions, which power the endpoint backup solution that we'll discuss today. WebRoot is an endpoint security solution that we have. We'll talk a little bit on each, but keep our focus on endpoint backup. I'm just going to give a little bit of an information on why this is important and about the solution, and then I'll give a demonstration on our portal and how this works. One reason this is becoming important, not only in Europe where they have GDPR, but many countries are passing legislation like Brazil, Lei Geral de Proteção de Dados, where it is important to protect data on computers and servers and personal data. With Carbonite, we are GDPR compliant. We know where our data is, what we do with it, and we are able to control it and be compliant with GDPR. The reason this is important is because a lot of data is controlled by these endpoints, 45% of business data. And most of those employees are using some sort of free file sharing like Dropbox that are unauthorized by companies. And so we have a solution that can be implemented by a company and have one solution that all employees are using to back up their computers. This is especially important right now with many people working at home. It is also important if they're working at the office to keep their information safe. Even at the office, they go travel occasionally, or they take their laptops home at night to work. And the cost of lost or stolen data per year is raising close to 4 million. As of 2015, it was 3.4 million, and that just increases yearly. The reason the solution is such a nice asset to have is will go as follows. We're able to deploy a vault on site or in your own Azure enterprise agreement, or you can use our Carbonite Azure hosted vault. With this, we can do a silent deploy to all of your users, or you can have your users install it. Depends on how you want to do that. So this is a scalable solution where we can install it on thousands of computers, or we can go to 100 or 5 or 10 devices, whatever you need. This does cover computers, desktops, tablets, and cell phones. For computers, we have right down here on the bottom left, covers Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. This solution uses global deduplication. What this means is a better bandwidth use. So less data is being sent over the wire, less data is being stored. It is a very efficient deduplication solution that we have. We also have a quick cache available. So data can be stored locally before being sent to the cloud. Some users use this as a type of migration. So it will do a backup of the whole profile and data. And you can do a migration from Windows to Windows, Windows to Mac, Mac to Windows, Mac to Mac. People use it for that. You can use it to do a migration from an older computer to a newer computer. It's very handy on that. We have legal hold options. We do have 256-bit encryption. We have a very flexible policy. We'll get into that a little bit more. This just gives a great visual. Again, I said we can do desktop, laptop, and tablet and cell phone backup, and it can go to the quick cache and go direct to the vault. They don't have to go through the company's internet also. This could be through any internet, and it will back it up to the vault. And with this, you can create a centrally managed vault, or you can have the users managed, depending on how you want to do that. And we'll go over this a little bit. I did mention silent deploy. This is important because we use, and we'll go over this a little bit more, but we use the Active Directory to do a silent deploy. This is helpful if there's a lot of users or if they're hard to get to. This is a little bit more about the encryption that we have. 256 encryption with a 128-bit transport layer security, TLS. We do have different options. We have an enterprise key controller. We have single sign-on. We do have data wipe, and that can be important if a computer is lost or stolen. We are SOC 2 compliant, and we do have certificates for that we can show. And this is a little preview of what the portal looks like. We'll go over this here shortly, but it's a very user-friendly portal, very easy to use. We'll go over it. I'm not an engineer. I come more from the commercial side, but I've been able to figure this out in a short amount of time. But we also have the option. Like I said, you can have the end user manage it. This is an agent. It's an agent-based solution. It's downloaded on the computer. Like I said, it can be a silent deploy, or it can be with the user's help. And you can give them a little control where they can back up when they want to. It's on by default, it's on a 15-minute backup, but you can also push the backup whenever you want. You can also have them restore. Again, this is optional. If you do not want them to have that option, it could be centrally managed. We'll go over that a little bit shortly. Just some quick points. It's an efficient backup with the global deduplication. Has data retention. We'll go over these policies shortly, but the detention is very flexible, retention that it has. It also is a very quick use, depending on how much bandwidth control you want to give. But there's a way to manage the bandwidth that it uses, and we'll show that here when we look into the portal. We'll look at the different policies and the different controls that can be taken. Like I said, there's enterprise key controller, there's always encryption. And this is a solution that's well used. And so it's not a new solution in the market. We have been using this for many years. And it is a growing solution that we see a lot of interest in. Like I said, this is usually used in our own cloud, but it can be used if you have an Azure instance, it can be used in that, or we can deploy it on site if needed. And like I said, it can be on a mobile or tablet device, depending on what is needed also. The licensing that we have two different versions. One can be where a license it's per user, license is based on per user per device. So one license will cover a laptop, although there is free cell phone backup that can be downloaded as well. And so each device gets 100 gigabytes, and this is a pooled storage. So for example, if you have 10 users, that's 1 terabyte that can be used between those 10. Like I said, we have deduplication, and the average user in our portal is about 50 gigabytes. And so with that, with our deduplication, usually 100 gigabytes is enough. Occasionally, if you have users with a lot of data, the advanced option is there. It has unlimited storage. I am going to look at, we will come to these other solutions in a little, well, we'll go over them right now. So like I said, we have Vault deployment. We use the Active Directory with LDAP to do the silent deploy. Single sign-on that can be used, enterprise key controller, and if any other services are needed, we can include that. But to give a little bit more idea just on the other solutions we have, we're discussing our endpoint protection, but we also have, like I said, data. We can prevent data loss with our web root security. It serves as an antivirus. We also have DNS protection. Besides that, we could do O365 backup, server backup, and replication, and migration. And this could be to our cloud, or local, or to public cloud. So we are a very flexible solution. Part of our cyber resilient story, depending on what you need for data prevention, data loss prevention, or data recovery, we can help with that. So let me go to the portal. Here's the portal, a little bit of how it looks. I'm going to go to, it is a multi-tenant portal. So for MSP users, they can have a number of different companies there. This is similar to the kind of view that they would have, where they see different companies on there. I have admin access for our sales team. Show what this looks like. So you're able to drill down, look at these users, how many devices are active. We can look at the policies. We'll look at that in a minute. You're able to create different groups. I actually created one for me. This dictates my devices. We'll take a look at that here in just, well, let's take a look at the policies that I have on there. So the policy name is this. I can obviously edit it for Nathan. And then this is self-managed. This allows me a little bit of control so that I don't have to come into the portal. I can use this agent if needed. This allows that your administrators are not being bogged down with various requests. Of course, if you do want that, you can obviously change that to centrally managed. Then you're able to manage custom files, add the file types that you want on there, or you can add rules like do not back up MP3s or audio or video, or just back up anything. You can set different rules. We've made it very flexible so that you could back up how you need to. Don't want to change too much on here. You can set up a schedule. Mine's disabled right now. You can track device. I will show you that. This is so if it gets lost or stolen, you are able to find it. It's very accurate, and we'll see that here shortly. You are able to do a remote wipe. That remote wipe, once the computer is connected to the internet, will delete that data. If it never connects to the internet, you're able to set a timed remote wipe. So if it does not connect within 30 days, the information will be deleted. You can change that depending on what you need. End user self-restore, that's what I have, what we were talking about right here. There's advanced settings that we can get into. Oops. where you can restrict certain things. Here is retention. You can have unlimited versions or 5. Default is 5. You can keep older versions. I think the default is forever. A lot of this is on the default. Retention of deleted files for 30 days, or you can put forever, however you want. You can also put the max size of gigabytes of document that you want them to have. Here is a way you could reduce the bandwidth. So mine, we'll put it at 10 just to show you that. Let's see. I don't know what I've changed. So I'm just going to make a quick change on that and then show that in effect. Right now it's set to use all. I'm going to reduce that so you can see that in effect. And then save policy. Okay, that's fine. Done. So let's say I have something that I want to do here. We're going to save this new file right here. We're just going to put test. And we're going to save it. Right, overview, test. So now we see that here. We see it's a 15 megabyte. And we're going to push it. We're seeing it's working, but I've limited the bandwidth. So it is sending it up to the cloud. It'll take a little bit of time, but then we can see that restored. I'm going to change this back so I don't have any issues later. To use all. Say policy. Here we go. So it is saving this file that's 15 megabytes. See, we have here the 30 kilobytes. Come back to this shortly. Like I said, there's different groups you can create. And so if you want to have a group that they limit the bandwidth, or maybe they don't want to have their location tracked, you're able to change that. Here's where you can have the silent install, silent deployment, using Active Directory and LDAP. You're able to set up the alerts. So if someone's not doing a backup, you can do that. You can set up single sign-on. Then here's the different restores that we have. Let me go and look for my user and show you what we can do with those devices. Here we go. So this one was completed. And so even though the file was 15 megabytes, we can see saved as 2 megabytes. That is the deduplication in effect. Let me show you. So this is my user, has my devices on here. So this is where I have everything. This one doesn't have anything yet. So if I lost my device, I would create a new device, and then I would go into this device. Oh, this shows my permissions. I'm an administrator. Anyway, I'd go into this device. And let's say I lost all the information, or if I just lost one thing, then I can click on this and I will say, search for this file, and it will find those files with the test. So here's this one. Then I could say restore selection. Let me actually delete this first. And then you can change it. This one you would, if it was to a new computer, you just put it onto the new computer. But I'm just going to restore it to the original location. And submit. This will take a second to actually do the complete the restore, and we'll come back to that shortly. But let's go back to what we were looking at, see the different options that are available. Here are my devices. Let's click on the device, manage device. I'm able to put this on a legal hold. This means any information will stay on even if this user is deleting data. This can be very useful in legal cases, or if there's someone that you are suspicious of doing illegal activity. Oh, we see this completed. Here is this that just came through. So just showed a test of that, of how it works. Let's see. Here's where you're able to delete data. Don't want to do that right now. Or delete the device, and so the device will no longer be on here. But here also is where you're able to track location. This IP location is where my internet service provider is coming from, but my actual location, where right here, see how accurate this is. So I actually live right here, so it's about 1 or 2 houses away, but you can see it's very accurate. Show you where that. But again, this will only work if the computer is connected. If it's not connected, it'll show you the last location. And here's where you can do the restore that we already showed. And let's see if there's anything else on here. I think that was mainly it. But this is also how you would do, doing the restore is also how you would do a migration. You would do a restore of all the information, all files, restore all matches, which is and then you would change location. Instead of the original location, I would change it to the other device. Let's see, I think it's Carbonite. I can't remember what name it is. But then you would just hit submit and it would restore it all there. And so that is a way you can also have 2 different computers with the same information. But like I was saying, this is a very smooth solution. Be able to restore the information in a quick and easy manner. You're able to do a migration with this solution. You're also able to delete data remotely. One of the best solutions in the market. And like I said, we also cover a wide variety of other solutions with backup. We are actually going to modify this portal so that it is including other solutions like the O365 backup and WebRoot endpoint protection. So you'll have those 3 solutions all in one portal. And that'll be part of our resilience, where you're able to prevent data loss or recover from data loss if anything does happen. But this is mainly what I wanted to show on this. So you're able to have it's a very flexible solution, and you're able to have an agent locally that you can use, or you can have just use it through the portal. You're able to do a silent deploy, able to choose what kind of data you want to back up, able to delete data remotely. One of the best solutions in the market. So let us know if you need any information on this or any other solutions. We can give a little more information on how this works. We have PDFs, we have documents that we can send in English, Spanish, Portuguese. There is a trial on this where you can try out the product. The trial is a full version of the solution. The only limit on it is 30, right now it's 60 days, it might go down to 30 days again, but the only limitation is time. But it is a full version of the software. So you're able to, if you want to do a backup of 100 or 1,000 users, you can. And then at the end of those 30 or 60 days, it would just be paused until you pay for the actual licensing of it. But let us know if you need more information. We're great to help out. Thank you very much for your time on this. We'd love to get to know you more. Thank you.